I have a great idea.
But I'll never do it.
It might happen. Sure, the monkey's might fly out of my butt. I don't think so.
I don't see it happening.
What's up, everybody? It's me, John.
And me, Louise.
We got great ideas that we're never gonna do.
Oh, it's like we're never gonna do it.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Is that something that you would call this? That's like an outdated term.
It is.
Tuning in.
It's like when you want somebody to roll down the window.
Yeah. Tune in. Crank the dial on the radio. Yeah,
Drop the
so
needle.
thanks for finding us on iTunes or whatever podcasting you listen to, or on our YouTube page, and watching us do our thing. I feel like we still don't get a lot of viewers on the YouTube, even though it's the greatest part, because last week there was major dog action and nobody was watching it. I don't know. It's there if you want it. If you just feel like
I know
listening
there's at least one that watches.
Okay, all right. Your mom?
It's probably Mare.
Sounds like something she would do.
Yeah.
So I feel like the past like week and a half or so, the ideas have been like flowing. And in fact, like I just had one like a few minutes ago.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'm really excited. Tell me.
All right. Well, this is mine from a few minutes ago. By the way, if this is your first time listening, this is a podcast that's all about the great ideas that you have that you're never gonna do. Like this one that I had that is like impossible to do and probably would destroy the planet. Maybe. But basically it's like, all right, we have a trash problem on this planet, right?
Sure do.
Right.
Sure do.
So what if the planet Earth has the most powerful natural incinerator, the core of the Earth. It's just like the hottest thing ever, right?
Right.
Maybe not so much. Maybe the sun is a little bit hotter, but whatever. So what if we had in our households a hole that goes down to the core of the Earth in which we can drop our trash?
In every household, there's a core of the earth chute.
Or like every neighborhood has a communal one or something like that, or somewhere nearby, kind of like a blue mailbox. You know, they have those on. You look very confused.
Oh, a street. Yes.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I was thinking like suburban, like out by the corner mailbox just happened to be painted blue, and I was like,
Oh, no.
I've not seen these.
A blue USPS, put your mail into here, and then people will come and pick it up and deliver it to where it needs to go kind of box.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, why can't there be one right next to it that has... There's
Did you see
okay,
that?
I don't think that anybody else could have seen that because it's right in the little corner of my
corner.
screen, because Louise and I do this over Skype. Tiny little dog face.
He's
but yeah, just like
creeping in.
next to those mailboxes, just like an additional one that just goes down to the Earth's core.
Because it would probably be far less expensive to drill multiple core holes than it would be to just transport all of our trash to a volcano.
This would also no doubt destroy the planet.
For sure.
But also, I mean, the alternative would be to launch our trash and shoot it at the sun.
Right. It would have to go through incredible cold to preserve it for all time until it.
I mean, or it could just burn up in space.
Oh, in the atmosphere, on its way leaving our planet.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
Wow, what's made you think of this?
I don't know. I had some. Oh, here's what it is. I'm in the process of moving, and I'm like, I have like so much stuff I'm gonna need to throw away. You know, like, how often do you clean out like your kitchen cabinets? Maybe like when you move out, and that's it. So there's just like stuff that's in there that's old and no good. That's just like sitting in a pantry where it's like, oh, geez, what am I gonna do with this? And like where I live, they pick up recycling and compost every week, but regular trash is every other week.
Oh.
Because I live in hippy dippy Portland, Oregon, where like people use like no trash. I actually met somebody over the weekend who's a complete minimalist, and their trash every couple weeks can like fit into like a mason jar. I know. Can you believe that?
No.
It's like an extreme minimalist.
That is insane. Now, okay, so this is leading me not to an idea, but just a thought that I'm having about how the universe aligns.
Okay.
So I haven't been listening to, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I haven't been listening to a couple of my favorites for 2 months.
Okay.
Because I've just been trying to educate myself about politics and policy and election bullshit, and I know. And so my for fun podcasts have taken the tiny bit of a backseat. But I listened today to one. It was a pop culture happy hour.
Okay.
NPR episode about HGTV and cooking shows, just like as a phenomenon, like why we are so in love with these shows. And like back in the day, you had This Old House, which was like a how-to.
Yeah.
And then like you had Julia Child. And then, you know, forward some time, you had Bob Villa, which was, right? Wasn't that guy's name?
Bob Villa.
Villa.
He's the This Old House guy. Was there somebody before him on This Old House?
Oh, I thought there was. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe there was.
Maybe there wasn't. Oh, I don't know then. And now it's just kind of like there's a whole network, and basically
multiple networks,
and like basically it's the same format. Like basically for all of them. And why are we so obsessed with these? Anyway, they were talking about when you would stage a house for either moving or a TV show, or what new phenomenon they're having now within HGTV is like shows called like tiny houses, about like how you want to like bring all of your material goods to a minimal and like take up less space but still be a property owner, and all these things. And how I have seen these shows, and or I used to work on a cruise ship, and how I thought like I don't need a ton of space, like I don't have a ton of stuff. Right. And how like happy I would be, and I look at these little houses and I'm like, that's all you need. And then I would go through a process like you're going through right now, where I'm moving or all my stuff has to go in boxes, and I'm like, what the heck is all this stuff? Right. Where would it go? And I think, I'd be so happy with like not having to think about a whole lot of stuff, having it be clean, pared down, whatever. And then, you know, you start going through all the stuff and you're like, oh, I gotta keep that though. Can't get rid of that. And like, then you just have all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just going through that with my wife, because we were going through like all of our mugs, and like there's 2 of us. Why do we need all of these mugs? And then
for when I come to visit.
Right, but still, then we need 3 mugs rather than 2. But we have like, there was one, so we have these mugs that have our names on them, and they're from Cabazon, California, where there's like these giant dinosaur sculpture things. They could be seen in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But I have mugs with our names on them, and she was like, well, we can get rid of these. And I was like, but that for you the last time that I went out there. And then, and it was like, And then my dear friend Anna Anderson, shout out Anna Anderson, came to me one day and said, I have a present for you. And I was like, I have a present for you. And it was a mug that said, because we were both living in Los Angeles at the time, and she was like, and it's a mug that says, it's not a full, it's a mug that's like a semicircle with a handle on it, not like a full circle. And it's like, I live in Hollywood, so I can only afford to get you half a cup. And we each got each other the same mug.
What?
I know. So that's what the gifts were. So it was like, I've never used that mug, but I can't get rid of it.
I have nice, not that this is an oxymoron, but I have like nice IKEA mugs that are like in a set where if I needed to entertain someone's parents, say, we could all have matching plates and mugs and saucers and whatever. And I have ones that are from a show that I've done, or Chris has a college one and a Depeche Mode one and one from his like first, job out of college or something. And I obviously have a Minnie Mouse mug. But obviously this mug is people just listening, not looking at YouTube. It's a Mark Tetro Boston Terrier mug. I only use this mug. If this mug is dirty, I wash it and then use it. If someone, and by someone I mean Chris, decides, Daisy dog.
The mailman is here and she's freaking out.
If he decides he's going to be lovely.
Oh man. The mailman normally comes much later, but this is a different mailman. I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I have a very hunky mailman. This mailman, not very hunky.
Aww.
But he's the early bird mailman, I guess.
Mondays.
Okay, going back, now that the mailman has come and gone, you only use this one mug.
Yeah, if Chris would... He would never do this, but if he would, not that he would never make coffee, but let's say he would make coffee in the morning and be like, look, babe, I made coffee in the morning. It's, a different way than we normally make it and super special here, and presented it to me in a different mug. I would look at him and he'd be like, oh yeah, it's not the right cup, and have to change it. He would never make that mistake. He would obviously be like, where's the Boston Terrier mug?
I have a great idea.
Use one!
I have a great idea. Okay, it's a mug that has a screen kind of going around it. And what you do is, using some special kind of app or something, you can scan your mugs and you can have one mug that you can switch the way that it looks on the outside, so that you can have your entire mug collection all in this one mug.
On one mug. Yes. Yes.
This is how it happens, everybody.
Like a scrolling billboard. Or
right? Sure, it can do marquee style. Yeah. And just kind of change as it goes around. Yeah. And you can download new mug faces.
Oh, totally.
Oh my God, this is so exciting.
On the fly ideas.
Yeah, this is how it happens, people. Have you had any crazy brain flash ideas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Last time we casted, we had some Aerosmith shout outs.
Yes, we did.
This time, I'm gonna do it again. It's called Walk This Ways! And it's ways for urban places, pedestrian style.
Okay.
So if you're like, oh, how long is it going to take me to get there? And you have to, let's say, walk through Chinatown, it's going to add the appropriate amount of minutes based on foot traffic. Because there have been so many times where I'm like, oh, I'm only 3 blocks away and I'll be there in 5 minutes. And it takes me 15. Because I'm can't weave too many people. Ways for walking.
Yeah, I know that, because I know that like Google Maps has like walking directions, but yeah, that how can it take into account?
No, sometimes I look at Google and I'm like, really, 45 minutes? I can do that in 30. Because I'm a like.
Well,
quick
yeah.
walker.
Well, here's what needs to happen is like Google Maps or whatever app you're using that you're getting your walking directions from. It needs to be working in conjunction with like the rest of your phone's information, because your phone knows how many steps you take, and it probably also knows like how many steps you can take in an hour. So
Right.
it's like
Based on how fast you walk. I
Right.
also think, why have we not had it sync with lights? Like traffic lights on the street for like walk
Yeah.
and stop walking. Because if it can sync with subway transfers and all that, like when the train is coming and you're going to go 4 stops and wait 5 minutes and then you're going to, like, why? Because if it's like, oh, it's only 6 blocks away, I'll get there in 6 minutes, and then you spend half the time waiting for the walk change, just...
Right. Well, I think that, I mean, I'm sure that New York, all that stuff is on timers, right?
It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here, I think some of them are on timers, some of them are like sensor based, but you can't do that in New York because there's just always going to be people in cars waiting at all times.
Right.
So, yeah, there should be a way for that to kind of link up.
And I just think, there's certain places where you're like, oh, I'm walking on 10th Avenue. I'm just going to shoot right down there. Or if you're like, I'm walking through Times Square.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that could be something that you could input where it's like things to avoid. And it's like no tourist areas.
Yeah, or special events. Like, normally you should walk this way, but since they're setting up for
Since there's an Aerosmith concert going on.
Since there's an Aerosmith concert, or if there's like the tree lighting at Rockefeller, or
Featuring
any
Aerosmith.
number of parades that
There's
Aerosmith
always
is playing
parades.
on every weekend. Every weekend there's a parade. So that was like the great idea of the moment. I've got some others, but I didn't know if you had some, because...
Well, let's see what else I've got. I already did... Oh, I have another one that has to do with heat.
Okay.
Going back to the earlier conversation, this one will not require anything having to do with the sun or the Earth's core.
Oh, safer.
Yeah. But, like, all right. Are you the type of person who likes to snack on popcorn while eating a movie? Not eating a movie, watching a movie. Got myself.
I just had popcorn last night.
Okay, great. This is good. So, a lot of times I will make some popcorn, and then I will realize, oh, I haven't decided what movie I'm going to put on yet. And as we know, are you showing me a picture of popcorn?
I took this picture last night. Can you see it? No, it's hard to see.
Great.
Popcorn.
Great photo of popcorn. All you audio podcast listeners are really missing out on some sweet popcorn pics. So, okay, so yeah, I'll make popcorn and be like, oh, I haven't decided what I'm going to watch yet. And as you know, if you're using like streaming services, it can take up to 5 hours to decide what you're going to watch, right? So, okay. Let's say that there's a popcorn bowl that has like a light heating element in it, so it keeps your popcorn nice and warm.
Without it getting too hot to initiate further pops,
No.
but warm.
It's just got some like coils in it that kind of just keep it a little warm.
I love it.
Yeah?
Yes, this is brilliant. Yes, because I often have that cold popcorn feeling.
I know, and it's just like not as good. It's still popcorn. It's still an enjoyable treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's another
I like
thing
it a
I was
lot.
thinking. But yeah. I don't know. Do you have you got anything good?
Yeah,
Anything
I got
off of that?
two small ideas. No, they don't segue from that. Chris and I went to a watch fair at Chelsea Market.
That's the dorkiest thing I've ever heard.
It's called Wind Up NYC.
Oh my God.
It was pretty dorky, but I was riveted by a couple of presentations.
I'm trying to think if there's any rivets involved in watches. Probably not, right? Because that would have been a perfect thing to say.
There was this one amazing aviation-inspired watch that like could go between 2 time zones, and then it like did moon phases, and it had 3 hands instead of just like the 2 and a second hand. It had like another half moon and another half moon of like where it would do the seconds back and forth, or it would do like the minutes as you were coming up on the hour or down from the hour, and then you would click the side and it would like change to UTC, and then you would click it again and it would like change to a stopwatch, and then you would click it again and it would go back to. It was incredible, and it's made for what was supposed to be made for pilots, inspired for pilots who have to go between time zones when they're flying and all these things. But anyway, we're there, and there's so many really, really cool watch bands that you can get to change with your faces and all these things. And I thought, because I don't have a nice watch, B,
they don't make silly band watches yet.
They don't make silly band watches. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yet. But what if the way that you could change watch bands, you could do it for backpack straps to like change your mood? You just unsnap it and snap it back in, and then you got like the pack is the same, but the strap is the fashion.
Yeah, why not, right?
Changeable backpack straps.
Right? Yeah.
Backpack strap.
Backpack strap. Yeah, of course. That's a no-brainer. And then also, like, you know, there are different types of backpack straps. Like, there's the kinds that have, like, the clips in the middle and everything, you know. Yeah, I don't know if there... Or maybe, like, some where they'll have, like, pockets on them for, like, cell phones.
A cell phone!
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, yeah, I dig it. Of course.
Of course. Like, just, where do we get this? How do we... Just thinking of, like, Chris has all these watch faces that he has really, really cool interchangeable bands for. And I was like, man, that is, like, so versatile. Backpacks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. The other small idea I had was because I was having a lot of anxiety, just life anxiety. I did not have, for the first time since, I don't know, Labor Day, which I guess isn't that long. It's only 8 weeks, but feels like a long time. One day where I wasn't accountable to anyone or anything, which most people have weekends. Most people get a Saturday, Sunday. I don't ever have that, ever. And since I have like 5 jobs, I might have a day off from one of those, but not any of the other ones. And so anyway, Saturday, I did not have to do anything for anyone but myself. And I was like, oh, is this what everyone else in their lives feels? Like, how amazing. Obviously, I need to make a change or do something else. So I thought, what if one time we did a podcast from a float chamber where, like, you and I go into sensory deprivation and we're like, are you thinking of an idea? I got one.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because as soon as you said that you had like a completely day where you weren't responsible for anything, I was going to ask you, because we had talked about this like in episode 2, I was going to ask you if you did a float tank. Like, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're talking about like a brainstorm float tank sesh?
Yeah, like if there was a way to do pairs floating.
Right.
And we could somehow in there set up mics and monitors for ourselves so that inside of our float we could be like, I'm really trying to lock it all down, but nothing's coming in. Or I thought of this, and I thought of this, and I thought of this, and I thought of this. Because part of the, not problem, but if you have all of these incredible ideas in your float, you're like, you're just in there and your hands are wet, so you can't like take a time out to write it down or or whatever. But if we just were already set up to record and we were just like, I'm thinking about this.
Well, as you may remember from the last episode, I'm all about ideas about different ways to record a podcast. You know, whether it's like going for a run or standing in an elevator, like I am all about just like setting up and like always going recording rig.
Floatcast.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. I love it.
That was my other idea.
Yeah. I really like the idea of taking out a chunk of time and just devoting it to relaxing my mind and letting the ideas flow. The ideas that we'll never do, but that we'll talk about. But yeah,
that's part of it.
Yeah. And
That's
sometimes
part of
when
it.
I'm like, you know, trying to fall asleep at night and I just like can't, then I will, I don't know, just like pick a topic and be like, maybe there's something that we can do with this. I don't know. And yeah.
Most of the time, here's how I go to sleep. Oh, it's time to go to sleep. I think I'll just have my head. So like, if I do like have an idea, it would be like, oh God, we should totally. I just think.
Yeah.
And I will never write it down because I would never remember.
I'm gonna admit something that I've been like so kind of embarrassed to like talk about to anybody except for the people that will like for sure get where I'm coming from. And by that I'm talking about like animal rights activists and stuff like that. But when I'm going to sleep, most of the time, like I will not be able to fall asleep because I'm thinking about like how there's so much like animal suffering in the world, and I'll just like non-stop just be thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and just like getting like really upset with humanity, and just like I just can't fall asleep. And then last night I was like laying in bed and I was like, hope I fall asleep soon. Better not think about how animals are suffering. And then I start thinking about how animals are suffering, and then it's just like, God damn it.
I will say that you are a giant inspiration to me, and that I've been listening to your other podcasts, and I've been looking on Pinterest for vegan recipes.
Oh, no way.
And and if I'm outside of my neighborhood, I always think like, oh, we should go try a new place to eat because we're not in our normal neighborhood, and I'll always look for the vegan option. And I was on Pinterest the other night and I was looking at recipes, and my other friend is a vegan, and I only have two, by the way.
And we're the coolest.
My other friend. No, I'm just kidding. Additional friends, who is a vegan, and I baked her a vegan birthday cake for her birthday, and had vegan icing. Anywho, I like came across this button on Pinterest, and it had like little cartoon pictures of like a chicken head, a pig head, a cow head, and it just said like, we are not ingredients.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want that button. Because I sometimes will self-soothe at night, wind down, and look at Pinterest. Uh-huh. Not things that I'm going to pin, but just wormholes.
All right.
But it makes me think of, like, sad things, only then I get worked up. It doesn't, that's not...
You get worked up? What?
I know.
I mean, okay, I know that this is a question that comes up a lot with a lot of different people with... different types of like social media, but and I've downloaded and I signed up for Pinterest like years ago, but I never understood the appeal for it. Is it just like one of those things that's just not for everybody?
It's probably not for everybody. I don't think I use it as it's intended to be used. It's supposed to, I think, be some sort of
inspiration board.
Yeah, inspiration board, or some people organize recipes with it, or some people plan their weddings using it, or I don't know. For me, it's sort of just a time suck.
Yeah.
Facebook just makes me too upset and angry, and this is I either am in a place where I don't care about what you're posting, or I start to have malicious thoughts. Mm-hmm. Like I'll look at somebody from, let's say, high school who was mean to me. Not that I'm seeking them out, but it comes up in my feed.
Right.
And then because of those past feelings or emotions, I will have little snarky comments to myself about like how I'm living my best life, and then I just become this monster. Whereas like if I'm looking at Pinterest, I'm like, oh, Boston Terrier pin, or if I see like flowers, which we've been through how much I hate flowers, but I'd be like, oh, those kind of look cool, pin. Because I really like ones that look like weeds. I like weeds flowers. Or if I like see like a cool movie poster, I'm like, oh, I should print that out. Or I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time.
Louise, I just got a great idea. Okay, it's a social media app where you respond to the people that are posting all that garbage on Facebook, but it's all anonymous, and you're not responding directly to them, but you're taking what you would say to them. And you're just saying like, oh, screw you, Becky, and just like kind of getting it out there, and then, just like people venting, but who don't want to do it in a public forum, just like, oh, God, I can't believe how much... I don't know.
Becky.
I hate Becky, yeah. Sorry to the Beckys out there. We're not talking about you. I promise.
Yeah. Or a lot of times, too, on Facebook, I'll get weird, what are, like, embedded advertisements. Uh-huh. And on Pinterest, there are embedded advertisements, but they're based on what you like.
They're relevant, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It doesn't have to be for you. Most of the time honestly, most of the time I'm just looking at dog pictures, which you could get on Instagram.
Everywhere. It's the best. That's what phones are for. Right now, Daisy is just like staring at me. Speaking of dogs, she's just like sitting across the room and just like glaring at me like...
Roland is playing with rubber rings all by himself. Let me see if I can capture this.
Oh, man. What a goof. All right. This is not interesting audio podcast listening.
all by himself. Okay, yeah.
Let me see. Actually, you know what? That's a really good segue point, because we're talking about people on Facebook that are saying things that just like really frustrate us, and nothing is more relevant right now that's very frustrating for everybody than the political cycle and our
challenges.
Yeah, our challenges were politically themed. You were assigned to come up with an idea relating to the Donald J. Trump candidacy, and I had the HRC, Hillary Clinton situation. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of my like ideas actually just like kind of happened, not that I did them, but like as they just like they kept on having all these amazing ideas that they followed through on in that campaign, such as like a thing where you can sign up for this thing, and then whenever Donald Trump tweets, money gets donated to Hillary Clinton's fund, whatever. And, just like nasty woman t-shirts and stuff like that. So the only things that
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, when are they gonna put Mr. Khan in an ad? And then they did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I've been brought to tears by like every single one of her ads. Oh man. Yeah. They're pretty great.
They're pretty great.
And I'm sure that if I watched any Donald J. Trump ads, I would probably weep at them for the opposite reason.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so like the ideas that I had for her, I don't think are very good, because the really good ones are actually happening. So the things I was thinking of were just like, she needs to have like a room in the White House for when she's president that's just like a punching bag, and that like anytime like somebody says some like really demeaning garbage to her, which is bound to happen because it's happening all the time now, she's just going there and just like punch the hell out of it. It was things like that, or just like Tai Chi. Because seriously, how is she like not just gonna like burst with like frustration at all times? I don't know. Like the ideas weren't flowing as much as
she's
I was
a pro.
hoping for her. Yeah. Did you think of anything for Mr. Donald J?
I did, and I feel like you had given me the challenge of, and it can't be go walk off a cliff.
Right.
So mine are actually. And there's only one, but it's a goodie. And there's multiple parts to it. It's a plan to make him more likable and relatable. And the plan for that is DJT needs to dress in costume of fictional presidents that we love in the way that we love them, and then maybe say some of the things that they said in the way that they said them without the Donald Trump aspect. For example,
okay,
who doesn't love
Millard
Jed Bartlett?
Fillmore? I'm sorry, what? Oh, no, that's a real president. That's right. Okay.
No, a fictional president, so Jed Bartlett.
Okay.
Only not the Jed Bartlett in the suit in the Oval Office, the Jed Bartlett in his Notre Dame sweatshirt. So Trump a la Jed Bartlett's.
Prez.
Right. Yeah. Or like, between the residents in the Oval Office, Jed Bartlett. Mm-hmm. And he just like wears his Notre Dame hoodie, and maybe Mr. Trump says, "What's next?" Or option 2 would be he puts on blue jeans and a button down with a bomber jacket a la Bill Pullman Independence Day.
Right? Oh my God. I think that's hilarious.
Just like dresses up as fictional presidents. Just so that we can go, oh, he is a human and not a monster.
Well, that's kind of like when Ted Cruz he basically stole like the whole speech from the movie The American President, where Michael Douglas gives the whole speech about how he's gonna be, because Richard Dreyfuss's character is like running against him, and he starts like attacking Annette Bening's character, the president's girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh, if you want to attack someone's character," like Ted Cruz basically just exactly ripped off the word for word speech that was in The American President. But yeah, that's so funny. I love
that.
I love that. That's so funny.
I was like, don't go negative. Don't go negative.
No, I'm really proud of you for not going negative. That's great. That's really fun. Yeah, my Hillary ideas are real stinkers because I think she's doing a great job.
I'm reading my second Hillary book right now.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm. I read one a month ago, and then I decided maybe I would try another.
Did the first one not do it for you, or did it do it for you so much that you were like, I gotta read another?
Yeah, I think it did. It gave me just a different kind of insight. Not that I was ever not on her side. Like, I feel even in past elections, I've been with her.
Yeah.
I've been engaging in a lot of really interesting conversations with people who disagree, who I can't just decide that I'll never see again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Without giving too much information out. And I just want to grab people by their shoulders and shake them. but that's not acceptable either. So I'm like, maybe I'll read and get just so ultra informed that I'll always have a comeback.
There you go. Is there like a website or app that's basically just like, if this person says X, click here, and then you should say Y as kind of like the comeback? Because, I mean, it's, especially with Donald Trump, people are saying the same things over and over again, where it's like, but Benghazi, or but emails.
Sure.
Oh, it's really just those two things.
Right. And I was listening to, I think it was the NPR Politics weekly wrap-up where they did, and they were saying something about how, or maybe it was This American Life. And in any case, it's just like, in the past, you have said something that wasn't true, and somebody has said, hey, that's not true. And it mattered a lot. And now, people just say whatever the heck they want, and it doesn't need to be true for any kind of reason. And you could even say, like, that's not true,
Right.
true,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And, like, nobody cares.
You know, this is how I felt the, like, let's say the third debate would have gone down, because everybody's already said everything that they need to say. They're not changing their views or anything, and it's not going to be a surprise what people are going to bring up. So I feel like each candidate should have the option to, like, have somebody on their team kind of tapped in, so that when the other candidate says something about them and they say that's not true, they can pop up with, like, the tweet that proves that they said what they're saying that they said. And it's like, you can't say I never said that, because there it is.
Right.
You know, just like...
And it's not just in particular these candidates. It's...
Oh, no.
I mean, anybody with a voice.
Oh, yeah.
I remember now. It was This American Life. And they were saying something about how Rush Limbaugh had said something about immigrants from, like, 1921 to 1941 or something, or 1961, doesn't matter, 40 years, 20 years, whatever, about immigrants, and how he, like, made this, like, giant sweeping comment about it. And it was like, yes, but that actually isn't true either.
Yeah.
And yet, somebody who doesn't know or care to figure out if it's true just assumes that it's true, and that's then what they base all of their decisions on. But if you disagree with them, then they'll just say, well, that's what the media wants you to think, it's all a conspiracy, blah blah blah. And you want to be like, do you have any idea how difficult it would be to, like, puppet all of that in the way that you think that it would happen? Like, we can't even, you know, make a movie in less time. And that's when everybody's working together. Like, how would we ever do that? But in any case, it's just like, nobody says anything that's true anymore, and it doesn't matter to anybody. How did we get on this? That I couldn't not speak to people anymore, because most of the time, if it's on Facebook and somebody says something outlandish, I just, like, hide, unfollow, hide. Right.
Yeah, that's why you need your app to, like, scream out into the void.
Yeah.
So one of my my alternate ideas for Hillary that I was like, this is too wacky, so I'm not even gonna, like, take it seriously, but I thought that and this would have had to have, like, happened a long time ago. Like, let's say right after she lost the primary to Barack Obama, 2008, she should have then secretly created a new persona that's a man, and then, like, totally run for president as a man, and then when she gets elected, takes off the, like, bald cap or whatever, and it's like, check it out, mother effers, it's me, Hillary Clinton, your new president.
What?
I just one of the guys, yeah, that's right. Cool. So, all right, we I guess kind of. Well, if this was a competition, you would have won the challenges.
Because I just thought of an idea too, but it's less satisfying for Donald.
Okay, and that it would be?
For Hillary, I sort of want her to do a bunch of the things that I would not do. For instance, how cool would it be if she was like, okay, I'll jump out of an airplane. And we were like, go, man, I'm with her. Because, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to jump out of an airplane. I know a lot of people get really thrilled by that, but I have, like, no desire to do that.
No,
but it would be
me
cool if you could donate to her campaign in a way that would, like, make her do thrill things. Like zip line from, what, I don't know.
That's so funny. It's just like, it's basically her just saying, like, give me money and I will do anything. I will do anything for your money.
At the same time, it's like, I'll totally be your president. No. Like, these things that are, like, dangerous. Like, you can't. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm, like, getting loopy.
All right. Well, then we may as well start wrapping things up. But let's challenge each other for the next episode.
Okay.
Did you think of anything?
I didn't, but I can come up with something.
All right. Well, mine is obviously inspired by my current situation. But I would love an idea about how to make moving easier. Not like moving like myself and my body, but like moving to a new place.
Okay. For you, it's gonna be, yeah, I'm like not having one of those moments where I'm like looking around trying to find a problem. I actually do have a problem that I need help solving, so anyone that can help, please. Nail biting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. All right. So moving and nail biting. And as always, if you have ideas for anything, why don't you go ahead and leave us a voicemail, 304-804-IDEA. Or you could email to greatideapod@gmail.com or greatideapodcast@gmail.com. And follow us at Great Idea Pod on everything except for Pinterest. And
Hey!
shout into the void. What's up?
Are you going to be anything for Halloween? Even though you're in the mid-move?
Well, that's the kind of crazy thing. So I absolutely love handing out candy to trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
And last year, we had a crazy, terrible rainstorm, and there was only like 2 trick-or-treaters here. So this year, we are moving on Saturday, which is the 29th of October. However, we're not sure yet if we're going to be closed on our house on the 28th or if it's going to be the following week. We have to move out because we have tenants moving in on the 1st, and whether the movers just hold on to our stuff and then we stay someplace for a few days, or whether they move us right into the new place is TBD. So I don't know if we're going to have a place to be where there will be like trick-or-treaters.
Because here's an idea.
What's up?
If you are in the place, just like set up all the boxes in a weird maze and turn the lights out and like invite the people in.
Well, here's another thing.
In a weird, creepy house that's empty.
Here's another thing, though, is that you have no idea how Laura and I move. As soon as the box enters the house, the stuff gets put away. As soon as the furniture gets in there, it is placed and ready to go.
Okay.
So there will not be any boxes creating mazes, but I do love that. I also think that maybe if we're not like there yet, might just go bring some chairs to the new place and sit outside with bowls of candy. But I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, just go trick or treating. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we'll see. But your question was about dressing up. I don't know. I haven't really thought of anything. Maybe. No, I don't know. I got nothing. How about you?
I know it's obnoxious, but I'm excited. This year, Chris and I are going to try to go as Harold and Maude. And I bought a little sunflower for Roland so that he could be so, like, simple and tall. Yeah, there were a number of years.
If you had a cat, they could be Cat Stevens.
Whoa! That would be the best. That would be the best.
But then you'd have a cat. I'm just kidding. I love cats. Cats are cool, right?
Oh, so good. No, there were a number of years that I went as Katy Perry.
Right. Uh-huh.
And I thought, if Chris decides to be a party pooper, I can always fall back on Katy Perry.
Fall back on Katy Perry.
Love her.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that Harold and Maude would be the best, though. That one's a winner. But I feel like you should be Harold and he should be Maude.
I should be both of them?
No.
Has?
Yeah, if Chris wimps out. But no, I think that he should be Maude and you should be Harold.
Oh.
I just think you'd be a really good Harold.
I feel like I could be a really great Harold.
Although maybe he's too curmudgeonly to be Maude.
Yeah,
sorry,
dance.
Chris.
Everybody needs to make music. It's the cosmic dance. I was thinking, because my hair's so long, I would just braid it up, and I was like, oh, we definitely need to get a wig for him.
Right. Oh, yeah. His hair, forget it. Yeah, and if anybody wants to know what it looks like, there's a picture right behind Louise. Watch our YouTube channel. There. So, yeah, everybody follow us at Great Idea Pod. Louise is at Spin Pixie pretty much everywhere. I am now officially at John D. Richardson everywhere. I changed the Twitter.
Whoa!
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Professional.
So that's a thing that happened. So profesh. So everybody, thank you so much for listening and for watching on YouTube. Go on iTunes and rate us 5 stars and leave us a review. And if you put something in quotes, we will each have an idea based on your suggestion that is in those quotes. Yeah. Any last thoughts, Louise?
That's it.
Cool.
Be safe out there. Be safe out there, you guys.
Be safe, guys. We really care about you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I don't see it happening.